What is up, YouTube? I'm Mr. Bradley from the Heated Waves podcast. I'm here to talk about the Thursday night football game. Of course, we all know who it is. It's the Eagles at my Green Bay Packers. So with that being said, let's get to it.
Easier for you to take yourself away from things we all go through, yeah. But if you knew that it was killing me, yeah, it's killing me, would you?
All right, so with that being said, we have a 1-2 team versus a 3-0. My Green Bay Packers are 3-0. The Eagles are 1-2, coming off two tough losses back-to-back weeks. The Falcons, and then, of course, the Detroit Lions. I don't think a lot of people seen the Detroit Lions beating the Eagles, but the Eagles have had a lot of injuries. They just don't look like the normal Eagles that we've seen on offense lately. Let's see what T-Ball thinks with his pick in the Eagles versus Packers.
Hey guys, giving you my picks for the Green Bay Eagles game. Eagles at Green Bay, pretty easy one for me here. With Green Bay being at home, they're a pretty tough team. I don't see them getting beat, especially with that new defense. Eagles are battling a lot of injuries. Alshon Jeffries is likely to return, but I don't think that's going to make a difference in this one. With that many injuries affecting their team, they've only won one game this year, and that was against a pretty crappy Redskins team. They did play Atlanta. And then last week's team was pretty tough as well. But like I said, with Green Bay being at home, I think this should be a for sure win for Green Bay. Like I said, with that new addition to the defensive coordinator, their offense is looking spectacular. They're just on a roll right now. So my pick for this week for the Thursday night game, Philadelphia at Green Bay, is going to be the Packers. Lock that one in from here at the Heated Waves studio. On the Heated Waves podcast, I'm T-Ball. That was my pick for Thursday night. Thanks.
All right, you heard T-Ball's pick. That was a great pick, obviously, because it's the Green Bay Packers. I think it's a solid pick. I might sound a little biased here, but that's okay. Here's my pick. Let's go over a few key stats. Carson Wentz has looked, better than average, if you will. In the first half of games this season in the NFL for Carson Wentz, he's not particularly playing his best football. Stats-wise, 102 passer rating, 1 touchdown to 2 interceptions, 102 passing yards per game in the first half with 1 touchdown and 2 interceptions with a 64.2 passer rating. That's first half. Second half stats is when he starts heating up. Maybe it's because he's getting in rhythm and getting in the game, maybe that sort of thing. 165.7 yards passing per game, 5 touchdowns, 0 interceptions, and 111 quarterback rating. So it's safe to say Carson Wentz and company are a better second half team, especially him. Big first quarters. Let's talk about first quarters. Aaron Rodgers' first quarter passer rating is 140.3 through the first 3 games of the season, the highest of his career. He is just starting off hot in that first quarter. So are the Green Bay Packers offense. It seems they can't really push the ball after the first quarter. I don't know what it is. I don't know if they're getting tired. I don't know what's going on there, but first quarter the Packers are just lighting up offenses. I mean, they put 21 points up on the Minnesota Vikings last week. And get this, you're coming in, 1, you're playing at Green Bay, so it makes it tough. And 2, the Packers have the second ranked in scoring defense, which is 11 points per game this season. Only team that's better is the Patriots, but that's because they played some soft-ass teams. Green Bay has ranked top second in scoring defenses 3 times in the Super Bowl era and have won each Super Bowl. So keep that in mind. That might help me with my pick. And every time they've ranked in the top 2 of scoring defenses 3 different times, they've won all 3 of those Super Bowls. Also, coming off that defense, we're talking defense from the Green Bay Packers. I think this has a big deal with why they're winning, why they're 3-0, and just from what I've seen game after game, the Packers have not allowed a first quarter touchdown to any team this season, and they played some pretty good teams. I would say better defensive teams, Chicago, at Chicago, Vikings, and Denver, all great defenses, not very good offenses this year for some reason. But that's the longest such streak since the start of the 2015 season. Aaron Rodgers, last but not least, is 13-2-1 over his last 16 starts in Green Bay. With all that being said, I got to pick my Green Bay Packers this week. Yeah, they're coming off a short week, and so are the Eagles playing Sunday. And now they're going to play Thursday Night Football at 7:20 Central Time. I think this is where we're going to see Rodgers have the most passing yards he's had all game. Probably even a 300-yard game with 3 touchdown passes is what I'm predicting in this game, because he's played some tough defenses. Like I said, the last 3 games is Chicago, which is a top 5 defense, Vikings, top 5 defense, and Denver Broncos, which I think is a top 10 defense right now. And he's only passing for about 215 yards per game on those, but he hasn't thrown a single interception. I don't think he's going to throw one this week. Like I said, I think he's going to throw for 300 yards, 3 touchdowns. Packers get the win, 28-24. I know you guys probably knew we were going to pick the Green Bay Packers, being big Green Bay Packers fans, but how could you not love the Green Bay Packers right now? Eagles are just so hurt on defense. You got to look out for Zach Ertz. You got to look out for Carson Wentz, obviously. Outside of that, I'm not real, impressed with the whole Eagles offense. They do have a pretty decent defense, but they are giving up the most points in fantasy-wise and yards-wise in the NFL to wide receivers. So Green Bay Packers, again, is our picks. Hope you guys liked it, and thank you so much from the Heat Wade podcast. I'm Mr. Bradley, and thank you, T-Ball, for your pick, man. We're going to come back, and we're going to be in the studio together this week and make the rest of those picks for you guys out there and see what you think. Peace.